Hello, and welcome to everyone to this webinar about employee engagement and the link to customer engagement. My name is Vicki Henson. I work in the Learning and Organization Department here in the St. Charles, Missouri office, and I will be one of your hosts today talking about engagement and its link to sales and customer engagement. Before we get started, I'd like to cover a bit about the webinar agenda and what we will be doing today. I will be providing some introductions to a few guests that we have, and my co-host will provide an overview of employee engagement. We'll talk a little bit about the link to customer engagement, and then we'll provide a summary and action steps. Today we have with us two very special guests. First, I'd like to introduce and welcome Master Trainer and Chief Engagement Officer of Dale Carnegie Training in the Richmond, Virginia area, JJ White. JJ, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Also, Billy Bright, Master Trainer and Corporate Business Consultant at Dale Carnegie Training here in the St. Louis area. Billy, welcome.
Thanks, Vicki.
And also my co-host for today, instructional designer Janine Selman, who works with me here in the St. Charles office. I'd like to welcome you, Janine, as well.
Thanks, Vicki. Let's go ahead and get started. So I know everyone is familiar with this graphic by now. It highlights some of the key points from the MSW research we conducted last year. About 5,000 participants spanning 36 countries were surveyed, and we looked at a cross-section of public and private sectors from entry-level to senior-level employees, including all ages, races, and genders. So as the graphic depicts, three drivers of employee engagement emerged. These were satisfaction with your immediate manager, your belief in senior leadership, and your pride in the organization. This means that those three factors were most related to employees' engagement levels. When we're talking about how to connect this engagement research with sales success, there's a lot of opportunities. We could start just in Module 1, the Power of Belief segment, which highlights the importance of salespeople to have a positive attitude toward their organization and its products or services. The truth is, salespeople can't engage buyers if they themselves are not engaged in their work. Module 1 has a lot of great opportunities to emphasize why salespeople should be engaged in their jobs. But what about engaging the customer? Even though our research was conducted specifically on employee engagement, the same emotions that lead to engagement in employees can also lead to engagement in customers. Engaged customers feel valued, which builds their confidence and leads them to feel more involved in the buying process. However, customers aren't truly engaged until they feel inspired and enthusiastic about the product. The cherry on top of the customer engagement cake, though, is empowerment. That is, buyers feel empowered by the product and empowered by the relationship with the salesperson. So empowered customers are highly engaged. They will repeat business with you. They're going to recommend your products to other people. And these are the people who end up becoming brand champions of your business. It's not hard to see how emotions play an important role in customer engagement. But let's hear another perspective. JJ, why don't we start with you? Looking at the emotions that lead to engagement, how do these connect with buying decisions? Let's see, Billy, I know that you have thoughts on this. I think maybe JJ's having problems. Is there something that you'd like to add?
Absolutely. I think when we look at this chart and we see the four terms, the confident, empowered, enthusiastic, and inspired, when I think about confidence, I think we instill confidence in our buyers by really asking power questions, which we address in the sales curriculum. Those as-is, should-be, barrier, and payout questions. And I think we have enthusiastic buyers when we really challenge them to understand what the return on investment is going to be, and we can do that in the client interview. Sometimes I think we have to help them understand what their motive is for buying by asking those power questions and asking those questions that get them to really understand things that maybe they didn't think clearly on before. I think we
Absolutely.
have to help. Yeah, I think we have to help them understand their motive by asking questions where we go, maybe it is like a suggested question we have. In addition to price, what were other considerations? Because they don't always go right to that ROI. And I think when we think about empowering and inspiring, I think as good salespeople and as good trainers, we really have to challenge our clients, which is, Principle 21, so that's a good one, by really talking about what the root cause is and giving them, examples of how they get to that root cause. JJ, what do you think?
Well, a confident and enthusiastic salesperson following the same process as an average salesperson that does not possess those emotions will win every single time. We are really good at our process, and on the other side, Dale Carnegie, our differentiator in the classroom in our brand is getting people out of their comfort zone and getting them to be so enthusiastic about their product, their service, their job, their life, that they get to realize in our program that this is what they need to bring to the sales call. And I think it's really critical as trainers that we don't just focus on the course and we don't just focus on the curriculum and the process, but we take every opportunity we can to get our participants to realize they can show more confidence, they can show more enthusiasm, and it's their job to inspire their prospect to buy the product that it's not going to sell themselves. The product is not going to sell itself.
Those are really great points. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. And this is Vicki again, moving just to refresh everyone on our definition of employee engagement. It's the emotional and the intellectual commitment of employees to deliver high performance. Employees bring specific attitudes to work, and when they have a certain emotional commitment to what they do, they also bring specific skills, knowledge, and experiences to their work, or the intellectual commitment that makes them competent to perform. And when they have high emotional and intellectual commitment, they are more closely linked to better performance and they have greater levels of engagement. Our sales success program begins and focuses the first module on attitude. And Billy and JJ, I know you both being really strong champions of the sales success program as master trainers. I wonder if you can share with us how you think attitude connects with customer engagement. Billy, let's start with you.
Thanks, Vicki. I think it's really interesting that Janine mentioned the power of belief. I think that's so key. And one of the questions and one of the activities is where we rank ourselves is when we believe in our heart, not just in our head, that the customer is better off having purchased from us, I think is really key. We're going to have engaged customers when they know we are seeing it from their point of view, and that we're really looking at this isn't about us making a sale. This is about them being better off because we have uncovered through questioning what's going to be best for them. And so they're going to be engaged, and I think at that point they'll listen to our recommendations and our suggestions because they're engaged.
And I believe that when you get to this module, it's the very first module in the program, you're testing the participants' engagement in their own product, service, and in themselves. And you cannot train a salesperson to be a better salesperson if they themselves are not fully engaged in what they're doing. It's quite often you hear that their lack of engagement comes back to lack of leadership engagement in their company. And that actually gives us some really good opportunities to create better conversations with those client companies as well. But once you get the salesperson to realize that they are either engaged or could be more engaged, and that should transfer over to the way they engage their prospects or participants with their own attitude towards it.
Yeah, very good points. Thank you.
There are actually a lot of different opportunities to incorporate customer engagement into sales success. Of course, the most obvious is the module Engage Them So They Want to Buy, but it is possible to weave engagement as a theme throughout the whole program. So as we've been discussing in Module 1, which looks at attitude, there's a lot of opportunities. especially when you look at the segment on attitude blockers. This is a great opportunity to talk about participants' personal employee engagement, and be sure to make the point that attitude blockers in your work and personal life can cause you to disengage at work. How can you engage customers if you aren't enthusiastic and inspired yourself? Help participants make this connection between improving their attitude and improving their customer engagement. In Module 3, you can discuss brand champions in terms of customer engagement. Champions are people who are fully engaged customers, and they're going to help you attract prospects with their own enthusiasm. Also in Module 6, in terms of the sales presentation, you can coach participants on their presentations so that they engage the customer. Have participants give feedback to each other on ways that they can make their presentations even more engaging. In Module 8, when we talk about painting a word picture, this is a good point to mention our research and the emotions that play a role in engagement. When you paint a word picture, you're building engagement by inspiring enthusiasm and making the customer feel empowered by that picture. There are a lot of different ideas, and we have put them in an Excel document in the product library, so be sure to check that out under Sales Success in the product library. Let's see, JJ, do you have any other specific ideas that can help people out?
Yeah, well, once you set the foundation for attitude in the very first module, you should be weaving that through the rest of the program. And especially whenever you're in, let's say, for instance, Module 5, whenever you're doing the questioning model. Most salespeople, when they first see our questioning model, they get very robotic about it. They just start following process. And I think as a trainer, we should be asking the participants, how engaged do you feel right now with this? Well, not very is a common answer. Well, what do you need to do to get more engaged? And do you think your prospects are going to tell that you're not engaged? So it's coaching opportunities throughout anything that involves a process. The questioning model, handling objections, the giving a presentation, any of those that involve a process is to coach them towards engagement and question not only their own engagement in this, but ask them, and we don't need to be the subject matter experts there. Ask the participant, how are you going to get your customer, your prospect, more engaged with you at this moment right now? And once they start to really think about that, you'll start to see some behavior changes inside the classroom.
That's great. Thank you. Billy, is there anything that you wanted to add?
Sure. As I was looking at this and thinking about this webinar today, I really virtually believe that we can connect engagement to every aspect of the sales curriculum. And it really is what we do best at Dale Carnegie. Looking at, you mentioned Module 8 where we build a value summary or paint the word picture. When we give the capability statement, also, we really have to have uncovered their emotional reason for purchasing through the questioning process before we can do any of those. And I think, as JJ said, we have to be engaging our clients. So when we make our presentation and we present our solution, one of the things we really learn through Karaoke Confidence is, the importance of how we present and how we build confidence and how we believe in ourselves. This all ties together so well from the very beginning of the whole attitude piece all the way through. We've got to have the confidence, which is one of those engagement pieces that we must have so that our clients will be confident. We even call the fact application evidence rules of engagement because we're engaging them because we're telling them, we're giving them evidence and we're applying it specifically to them. So I think the entire program is just totally connected to engagement all the way through.
Wow, thank you, Billy and JJ. Those are really good examples.
Yeah, those are really great. So here are a few more general guidelines that can help you make the connection between engagement and sales success. It'll help if you become an expert on engagement. Keep up with the recent research, keep up with findings, and just make yourself an expert on the topic. Review examples of engaging sales presentations so that you'll be able to coach others to their fullest. Make engagement notes in your manual. Also, know your audience and practice your new ideas with friends. Be sure to discuss engagement whenever it's relevant, and also share your ideas and your success stories with other trainers. There's also soon going to be video demonstrations, so look out for those.
Thank you, Janine. And in addition to customer engagement, of course, we have to talk about engagement in all of our curricula area. And as many of you may know, if you've listened to or watched previous of these webinar series, we've linked employee engagement to our core courseware and in employee engagement, of course, with the Dale Carnegie suite of products. Leadership engagement, a lot of times employee engagement is directly connected, as we know from our 3 drivers in the research, to leadership engagement and the manager and employee relationship. Also, audience engagement. Our whole presentations curriculum and the HIP program is about engaging audiences, persuading, and bringing people to our point of view through audience engagement. And today we've landed on customer engagement. And thank you to the panel who's been here today. We hope we've painted a clear picture of what that looks like and how you can make that connection with that area of the curricula. We have a suite of tools that are available that you might have seen from the decision maker workshops that have been produced over the last few months with engagement. These are very powerful job aids and materials that are available when you have conversations about employee engagement in general. And always would like to remind you that these products and these materials are available out on the product library as well as the sales site. There is an ever-growing number of support tools available to you. As part of this webinar series, we've produced, again, webinars that introduce employee engagement for a trainer delivery perspective that began with how you just bring programs alive, the secrets of engagement and what makes it relevant in the training room, employee engagement and leadership programs. We've recorded employee engagement in presentation curricula, and today we're covering customer engagement. These links to these YouTube videos are available, and look for more communication that will come from Tom Gilmore and other Lotus Notes announcements that will give you more information on how you can dig in and immerse yourself into making trainer delivery come alive and infusing it with employee engagement. So today, that's all we had for you in customer engagement. I want to make a special point to once again thank and tell our appreciation to both Billy Bright and JJ White for joining us today. We really appreciate their perspective, and I hope you've learned a lot from them, as well as my co-host Janine Selman. Thank you all very much. Billy, JJ.
Thank you.
Most welcome.
And also a big thank you to our producer online today, Tom Gilmore, who's helped to make this series very successful. Again, look for more information to come from learning and organizational development and the employee engagement and linking it to our curricula. Thank you.